We pump those profits back into the profit cycle to generate even more profits. And I know what you're going to say. Profits? Yes, Stan. You're soaking in them.
Hey everybody, how's it going? It's your boy ExtrmWill, Extreme Tech. I'm doing another video. Take a look at my 29 machines on salad and what they're doing right now, how much they're making. I wanted to do this video yesterday, but I wound up just not being able to. I had yesterday off, which has been Monday, because it's probably like really early Tuesday morning now. Yeah, the wife decided we were going to St. Pete, and I wound up taking down our friend's drywall for like 8 hours. So I just wound up getting exhausted. Yeah, we didn't get hit very hard by the hurricane over here where I live out in the suburbs, but we went to St. Pete, and yeah, like I could not believe how bad some of those people actually got hit. Because they didn't even live like on the water. They lived on like a really small canal, but it came up, and like everything under 4 feet in their house, everyone on their block, everything under 4 feet in their house had to be thrown away. So in front of everyone's houses, there's just huge piles of basically like garbage, just because everything was just destroyed. All their appliances were wrecked. It was pretty insane. Because you come over here like, I'm probably only like 30 minutes away, 45 minutes away, and like, yeah, you can't even tell it rained over here, but yeah, like there's people definitely got wrecked. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. So that was what I went through yesterday. I think the proper term is mucking. But it was definitely pretty interesting. So, but if we get on to what everyone's actually here for, everyone's here for the salad. So, this looks like this line is like really solid and consistent. So this looks like I'm just running constant containers for the whole day. And I was watching another video, another YouTuber, he didn't seem to understand, like, if your lines are going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, you're constantly picking up and dropping jobs, so you're not making the full amount. Like if you run a job and it says you're supposed to make $5 and the job only runs for 2 hours, you're not going to get paid for $5. You're only going to get paid for the 2 hours of that. So let's pull out the calculator. So if you run a $5 job, we'll divide it by 24 hours, and we'll say you only ran it for 2 hours, then you would have got paid 41 cents for that job, because you really only ran a 2 hour job. The estimator is estimating you ran it out at 24 hours. So all of my estimates on all the machines right now, that's going to be what they're fully going to make for the whole day, which is kind of what I expect. But salad does have some points. We're doing a lot of like gig work on this basically, so not all containers are going to be the real big containers. So it's like, I know some people are like, oh, my 4060 Ti's only tend to get like these small jobs, and it's not necessarily your 4060 Ti. Sometimes when they go on board a bunch of new customers, sometimes they have these large, massive projects that need to get done, and sometimes they just have a bunch of small, little projects that need to get done, and it's all work. It all needs to get done eventually. So, there's so many people on the network where it can be hard to get the big containers. The big containers are definitely what you want. But like, we don't have any real say in what you get. It's next man up kind of thing. The machines, everything is prioritized by what your uptime is. I think they have, from listening to the salad team, I think they have several different reliability scores. You don't have like one single reliability score. You probably have like an average reliability score that takes the several different ones into account. I think you have a score for your total account. You have a score for each machine, and you have scores on your equipment, and your reliability and your uptime and probably your internet speed. And I think they have a bunch of different things that they put together, and they can't break that down too much better to us, to what I've heard them say, or they don't want to, because if they do, there's too many people out there who are too savvy to just manipulate what their machine is saying to Salad. So Salad goes like, oh, this person has to always go to the front of the list because they're sending us false data that says they have to always go to the front of the list or something. I don't know. That would be my best guess. But there's some different stuff in that. So a lot of this too, because I'm running 29 machines and my uptime is insane, my reliability scores all have to be very high. Even though I lost power a couple days ago, I have 29 machines running full bore. So like I hit Star Chef, was it 50 hours? So I hit Star Chef, if they calculate that across all of the machines, I would hit Star Chef every 2 hours, I think. So, I'm pretty sure my reliability score is really, really good just because of the vast fleet of machines that I have. So, but if we get into this, it looks pretty good. It looks like it's between, let's see, probably 40 cents and 48 cents. So not a lot of real, only like an 8-cent variance. Not a lot of real variability. Pretty straight line there. Plus 24 hours. So that's really good. Puts up at like $41. So I'm pretty happy with that. If we go into the 7 days, so we can see here, yesterday says I made $40.50, so that's good. I wasn't expecting to be making that much yet. Day before that, I was at $36.86, probably a little closer. See, this one's probably closer. I was expecting to be at $35 for probably still another week, because I thought here, this would have been, I believe this is the day after the hurricane, and I believe this is the day of the hurricane. So I think here at 4 p.m. I lost power, and then here at about 3 a.m. I turned everything back on when I got home from work. And then this is the next full day after that, where because like if you're running all of these big long constant containers, it takes a while. If you pick up if you're looking to try to pick up jobs that run for 2-3 weeks at a time kind of thing, or just continuous jobs that are always running, sometimes you need to do a bunch of the little jobs until you eventually pick up one of the bigger ones. So, you may have to, on average, you might have to do a bunch of 10-cent jobs and a bunch of 2-hour jobs and 2 to 3 hour jobs until you eventually wind up getting one. If every 10th job is a constant job, then, you need to do the 10 jobs first before you get one, and then you're on a big long container. So, this progression all looks like it makes pretty good sense to me. Definitely think the earnings are looking pretty good. We go back to the last 30 days. This looks a little different. I don't know why this looks different to me right now. I don't know if it's just because it's a different time of day, or if I'm still just exhausted from mucking. There it goes. That looks normal. That's weird. I was complaining it looked weird. Yeah, I did not like those thin lines. Just looking at it long enough, and eventually it just changes. Yeah, I like this a lot better. This is easier for me to read. Those thin lines look too strange. So you can see definitely some ups and some downs. I think here I had another. I think there was another power outage I had up here too. These were the best days that I think I've had so far on Salad, and then I've had a couple more pretty decent days. So It's definitely going pretty good. Let's see. Anything else on the earnings page we need to get into? I know someone was like, oh, so, but like you're getting wrecked with your electrical costs. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Well, like, the last 30 days, I think I used about $300 in electric. And my earnings for the last 30 days is $1,149. So I'm netting like $700. And then after the 10% fees, let's see, let's pull a calculator out. Let's do it on the calculator. 1149. Let's see. Times 0.9. It's about like 10% in fees or something like that, right? So we're so we take out 10% fees by multiplying by 0.9. So I'm at about $1,034 after fees. And then so I made about $734 last month after my electric and fees. So now a lot of this, because I'm running a huge farm, it's going to be very different. If you're running a lot smaller number of machines, you know, your numbers are probably going to be smaller. You know, like significantly smaller. So yeah, I don't know. So let's divide that by machine then. So divide it by 29. So then we can say I averaged about $25 per machine for the month. So that you could break that down then to be that the numbers make more sense to you. So it's a little less. I averaged a little less than $1 a day. Now I have 340/90s and 530/90s, and then a bunch of other random cards. So I mean, the 40/90s definitely bring that number up significantly. The 30/90s right now are bringing that number up significantly. My other 40 series cards, kind of in the middle. I'd imagine my 4060 Ti's are definitely making above that. My 4070 seems to be real. My 4070 and my 4070 Ti seem to be really hit or miss on whether or not they ever get work or not. And then I've got a bunch of 30 series cards. So, but part of this still too, I guess, is going to be on the old pay scale. This isn't all going to be in the new pay scale. So, but this does look like for the last 30 days, I think the last 2 weeks of this, it's been on the new pay scale about. Not all of it, because right about here where I lost power the first time on the 10th, it's the first today, on the 10th and 11th. I think around then is when they pulled the new pay scale out, when they rolled it out. They didn't necessarily tell us right. Well, I guess they did tell us. I just didn't know. I had no clue. I didn't know until I saw... Oh, why am I blanking on that? I shouldn't be blanking on it. I have it on here. I have it on here. Until I saw Mind Some 10's video on it. But yeah, that's that. So, all right, let's get into the machines. So, let's see, 220 cores, 116 core, a whole bunch of these 12 core. BC/PC combo kits that I have. I think I have 13 of them, plus the 220 cores that are basically the same thing, except I tried seeing if I ran with 20 cores if it would be better, because I thought, hey, if I max everything out, maybe that's what you need to do. But I don't think the 20 cores really have an advantage. Actually, I thought at first the 20 cores looked like they were doing better, and now like the 220 cores in the last week, like very rarely pick anything up, which is getting really annoying. Let's see. Then I have a 12-core machine that I just built. The new Ryzen chip in it. And then I have 4 8-cores, 5 6-cores, and 3 4-core PCs. So this first one, I don't know why this one hasn't got a job since I lost power. This one still has not gotten a job. It's gone. Is that 5 days? Yeah, we're at almost 5 days with this 4090 not getting jobs. 20 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4090s. 5 days this machine has done nothing. They're supposed to have all these 4090 jobs in there and nothing at all. I don't know, because this one was having that weird reporting error before. So I don't know if there's something weird with their software why this one's not currently getting a job, but it's definitely kind of annoying. I don't know if maybe it is actually running a job right now and it's just not reporting it correctly. Because like the usages look like they're kind of high, but I don't know if this is just from me Chrome Remote desktoping in, or if it's running a job and just not calculating it correctly, but it's showing a goose egg, and it's been showing a goose egg for a week. Let's see, so we have this one. This one's actually looks like it's running a job, so that's kind of rare. So this is another 20-core, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4070 Ti, throwing $1.84. So this is a low priority job. Let's see, on to this next one, AMD Threadripper, 16 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090. This one's doing $2.62. That is a medium priority job. I'm going to close this one out though, because it's actually using 100% GPU usage. So that one's being a very labor intensive job. I think that's the first time I've seen one actually be at 100% that much, and really be pulling that much electricity. That one did not want to let me Chrome Remote desktop into it. It kicked me out the first 2 to 3 times I tried to Chrome Remote into it because it was using so much. So I mean, like, that's definitely one that I probably don't really want those kind of jobs necessarily. I've heard guys talking about them. Well, like, yeah, because that's going to be, like, that one specifically will be pulling probably, like, 300 watts for the vast majority of the job. Whereas this job right here, you know, I'm getting paid $4.98. I don't think this is ever going to get up to 300 watts. It's using, right now it's using 3% of my CPU, 14% of the memory, and 10% of the GPU, 14% of the GPU. So like, this one's not using any electricity in comparison at all, and it's paying way more. But I mean, it comes down to the jobs a lot. It's because I don't know what exactly it's calculating. You know, like, we don't really know. But like, it is calculating stuff that, you know, for the most part can require some really hardcore equipment. So like, the way this works as a business model is the customer, the people who are renting this stuff, they don't want to go buy a server. They don't want to go buy 10 4090s to try to run these massive algorithms and programs. So it's what we're calling AI. It's just a massive algorithm and program. You know, they don't want to go buy everything to do it, so they decentralize it. So I believe they have like 10 of us then with the 4090. We all do a part of the code and run a part of the program, and then they put it all back together again. I believe that's how this works. So I think it's still decentralized. I think they're still using some of the aspects of like the crypto stuff to do it. So like, I can't now go steal, like, I can't build something in this to then turn around and steal, like, the customer's stuff. Because if I only have 10% of the program, I don't know what, I don't know what in the world it is, you know? So, I think that's kind of part of how this works. From trying to learn this from the customer side, because I watch all their videos from the customer side too. I watch everything Salad's released from the customer side to try to understand that as best as I can. But it looks like when they spin up a job, you know, 10 of us pick up that job, and then we all then would get a tenth of the job to calculate out. So none of us, we're not running someone's proprietary software, you know. We're not running their proprietary code, you know. We're doing part of it, and then it's putting it all back together again. So, but hopefully that makes sense. I kind of know what I'm talking about. I am definitely not an expert in programming or anything like that, or know how any of this really works behind the scenes, but I am definitely trying to learn. So I think trying to understand that can help. But there is a huge variance in, you know, what you're running and the resources it actually needs for that specific job, and then it's going to vary wildly, you know, because some of them are going to be, you know, a lot of them are mostly GPU heavy, but some of them are very memory heavy. Some of them you need a lot more storage than others, you know. They're not really utilizing the CPUs too much at all, which is, I guess, like, whatever it is, I guess. I'm fine with it, because if it's less electrical usage, I'm fine with that. Customers can definitely pay if they do have something, that they do have a program that would be more CPU heavy. It's like one thing I think, like, we've probably seen, or most of us on our end would have seen, like, some video games you play are more GPU heavy, and some video games you play are more CPU heavy, you know, depending on which one it is. So, you know, there is variances to how computers and stuff like that work, which I would hope most of us would understand. So, yeah, like, you can see it in this, though. Like, depending on what program you're running, it's like some periods of the program take a lot of electricity because you're running the GPU real hard, and some parts of the program you're not really doing as much, so it's not as big of a deal. But anyways, this one's 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4090, doing $4.98. This next one, 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4090, is doing $5. Next one, 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4070 is doing $1.30. Next one, 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti is calculating. I believe this one, these are all dedicated rigs, and I think I had a degraded error on this one right now when I just logged in to check everything. So I just updated the NVIDIA driver to the newest one, and then restarted the machine. So hopefully it shouldn't have any more issues. But they do come up every once in a while. There are errors in Salad's programming, and there are errors in the customer's programming. So, I mean, it could have been either one. So at that point, I think you just update the driver. If the driver tells me to restart the machine, I restart the machine. If the driver doesn't tell me to restart the machine, then half time I got to think about it and go, like, do I need to restart it? And I may or may not restart it. But if the driver tells me I have to restart, then I do. So if I go to the next machine, another 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090. It's doing $3.46. So this should be a medium tier or medium priority job. 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3090, $2.62. This should be another medium priority job. Is that one medium? Yeah, I think that's still medium. Don't think that's high, because I think high should still be above $4. So this one they're probably paying for more memory, and they may be paying for more CPU power. And then this one looks like they are paying, I don't know if they're necessarily paying for less memory, but they're I would say they're probably definitely paying for less CPU power. 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4070 Ti is calculating. Yeah, it's like under this new pay scale, I think like they've really like they've devalued a lot of the cards. This makes this a little bit more annoying because I have a lot of machines now that were doing really, really good under the old pay scale that now are doing terrible under the new pay scale because there's just not enough of a difference. You know, if the customer's going to be like, it's a penny for this or that, like, just doesn't seem like as many of the cards are doing as well. Kind of annoying. So here is a 12 core, 96 gigabyte RTX 3090, like $2.96. So this is a medium priority job. 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3080. This one's calculating. 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 3090. This one's going $3.46. So this is a medium priority job. Because yeah, the high priority jobs I think are still over $4. I had a bunch of them before, but it doesn't look like I have any of them now. So let's see, this next one, 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti is calculating. All my 4060 Ti is calculating? Oh man. All my 4060 Ti's are calculating right now. 12 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti is calculating. Because this would have been the card too that I would have recommended the most that people get to use for salad because it uses the least amount of electricity. And it's making the most amount of money. But yeah, I got 3 of them not doing anything right now. It seems kind of crazy to me. But I guess, yeah, they changed the pricing scale up. So like which cards are good and which cards are bad now is going to change. And I take a lot more looking at this to try to figure it out. So the Intel 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060. So I think this is the last one of these that I have. It's doing a 10-cent job. So I don't think these 10-cent jobs are necessarily that bad. You know, they're pretty easy to knock out real quick. Get them over and done with. Every job you finish increases like your scores and your numbers, your liability numbers. So they're not necessarily terrible. Here's my nice new machine, Ryzen 9 5900X 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 Ti. This one's calculating. Alright, Chrome Remote Desktop will only let me have you can only do 20 at a time. So that would be the 19th, and then that one would be the 20th. All right. Oh yeah, because I guess I closed that one out a little earlier. So we will do the 8-core PCs now. So the i7 8-core, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti. It's like 10 cents. Because like all of these PCs from this lower part down, these are all like the PCs that I had from the last bull run. Before they switched the pay scales, I was crushing it on all of these. These were all doing like $1.70 to $1.80 a day. Almost all of them. They were all running super constantly. And then since they've done the change in pay, now like most of them are just calculating, or you know, because they cut the pay. This one's like $1.30, which I guess I'm pretty happy with the $1.30. But a lot of these have just been calculating, whereas they were doing really, really good for me. Now they're not doing as good for me anymore. So there are going to be some evaluations I'm going to have to make on some of this, but I haven't seen anything clear enough yet to be like, this is necessarily what I need to do, or that's what I need to do. So yeah, i7, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060, doing $1.30, so that's a low priority job. i7, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 is doing calculating. This next one, Ryzen 7, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 is 10 cents. Alright, so then let's go all of the 6 cores and the 3 4-core machines. i5, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti, starting $1.33, so this is a low priority job. i5, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060. All my 3060s are the 12 gigabyte models. This one's on $1.30. These are looking like these are running a lot better than I thought they were. A lot more of them have jobs than I thought. They were all calculating the last time I looked, but it makes sense if I'm over $40 now, whereas when I was at like $30, that more of these would be running. Ryzen 5, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 Ti. This one's doing $1.34. So this is a low priority job. I'm curious what this is. We'll do that. And we'll leave that up and running then. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't like a Windows update that was going to shut it down. Because if I monitor these enough, if you see it coming, you can... I tend to feel like I can take care of it well enough. I don't think I've had any of these shut down on me yet for a Windows update. So, I think I'm doing alright as far as that for the monitoring. But I do occasionally have machines shut down. I just don't think it's for the Windows update. I think when I have a machine shut down, it's because Salad crashed everything out because of some kind of error. Because if it crashes out, then it resets the machine. If it crashes out hard enough. Alright, so other than that, next one, i5, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3070. It's calculating. Ryzen 5, 64 gigabytes of memory, 6 cores. RTX 3060 Ti is doing 10 cents. So my 4-core machines, this is a 10-year-old machine. i7, 16 gigabytes of DDR3, RTX 3060 is just calculating. Boo. i3, 4-core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 is doing $1.30. Nice. So this is a low priority job. And my most reliable machine, this one running. Yes. i3, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3080 is doing $1.30. Before the hurricane, this one was doing a high priority job, so I think this one was actually doing like $2.80 or something, or it might have even been like $3.20. Something that I thought was just like ridiculous, because this card had been at $1.79 pretty much since Salad started, or since I got on Salad. So, yeah, that's that. I definitely went kind of long-winded. I think I explained everything. So, hopefully it all made sense. Definitely like to see the line looking as solid and consistent as much as possible. I don't want to see a lot of peaks and valleys, because that means, you're picking up and dropping too many jobs. Like, I want to see you're picking up and finishing too many jobs. I want to see just that nice constant line, all of the big steady work. So, I think in the way it works, like, if it's every 10th job you get like a big one kind of thing. I'm just throwing random numbers out there. Then the longer time you're running for, each machine will eventually hit like that 10th job that will run for weeks. So hopefully everything should eventually be running for weeks. So, yeah. Don't know what percent my machines are running at. Maybe I'll look at that in the next one. This one's already way too long. Yeah, we're at 35 minutes. Maybe we can look real fast. If we go to the 7 days, earnings by machine. I was afraid this was already closer to an hour. So if we look at yesterday, let's see, how many are under making a quarter? It says 30. I technically only have 29 because 30 is the laptop right here. That's not running salad that I'm working on right now. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I only have 8 machines that made less than a quarter. So 21 of my machines made more than a quarter yesterday. So that's not too bad. It's that probably like no, I didn't do that right. Am I gonna do it the exact same way again now too? Yeah. So 72% of my machines made more than a quarter yesterday. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. I like that. So yeah. It's higher than I thought it would have been. But yeah, it's definitely doing pretty good. I don't want to keep repeating myself. So yeah, that's it. That's going to be the end of the video. I'm going to go try to rest a little bit more here. I got to go back to work tonight. So like 2 more days and then I got a nice long weekend. So yeah, if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, come on back. We'll do more videos. If you got comments or questions or concerns, I'm pretty good about responding to most of them. So if everybody makes the same kind of comment, I'll try to make a video on it. So yeah, if you guys are doing good out there, and I'll see you next time. Peace.